Today, I want to share two words, fear and faith. And before I share what I'm about ready to share, I want to tell you what I wrote on my website. This is a blog that I'm going to read to you. Actually, got some hate mail. Now, why is hate mail important when you're doing this kind of work? Because hate mail represents you're hitting a nerve. When people get to the point where they want to respond and tell you that you were wrong, that's when you actually have a moment to say, like, man, this is where I'm creating a stake in the ground. And this is what I'm claiming I believe. It's a conviction component that we often don't get to in life, especially in such a divisive world. Most men feel like we can't be divisive. Most of us feel like we can't take a stand. And so today, what I'm about ready to share, like I said, triggered someone to reach out and say, you were wrong. This isn't true. My dad did this and I turned out okay and I respect him for it. And I told that man, I appreciate him for reaching out, telling me that he disagreed. But what I'm about ready to share is that I disagreed that a child should ever have to feel like they can't express an emotion. And it felt really good to say that and to stand and say, I don't believe in what you believe. That's a moment, small moment, but a big moment in Military Veteran Dad and the business of fatherhood, where finding out where you're taking your stand and where you're drawing the lines in life, those boundaries are what separate the enemy and from where you're trying to go. And we often don't think of that or even process it. But I'm going to hang my hat high on that because I can tell you in the 4 years that I've been doing this, I've maybe had four people reach out and describe what I said as wrong. And I would say this one is probably the most significant because it was almost blatantly saying you are wrong. And as an influencer, you shouldn't say these types of things. So without further ado, let's dive into what it is that I said offended him. So 2 questions. What do fear and faith both have in common? They both represent the future in an unknown state. They are both a choice that we have every day when we wake up. Question is, are you going to lean into the fear in your thoughts, or are you going to lean into faith? Before humans left the cave, fear kept us safe. It was fear that kept us alive. It was fear that our brains learned to detect danger. For a long time, that method worked well. It kept us alive. But how does that show up now in modern times? Why does it feel like your lives are filled with fear every day, even though we are no longer surrounded by life-threatening danger? Let's go deeper. Why do you fear having a conversation with someone when there's no threat to your life, most likely? Is it just the words or is it something else? Let's bring it back to your childhood. Where did fear growing up show up? Did you protect yourself from that fear? How did you learn to survive as a child? Did you learn early on that being yourself led to the threat to your survival? As kids, we've limited experience in how life works and what will hurt us and what's not. And we've all seen those kids that have no fear and that just run through life with no inhibition of, man, that could actually hurt you. What if we learned growing up that you had to turn off your emotions to survive? Showing emotions would turn a dad into a monster. So you learned how to prevent it to keep safe. Boy, I'll give you something to cry about, said most destructive dads. By the way, that was a phrase that the dad disagreed with, that was actually a good phrase. All kids crave psychological safety, which is a big fancy term for they just want to feel safe. When they feel frightened and they have a deep desire to feel safe and their parents' love. Let's play this out more. What if you didn't feel that love growing up or safety? Where would you go? We see it worldwide. Kids turn to gangs, bad crowds, seeking attention, all in the name of feeling safe and loved. Meg Meeker is famous for saying, if you want to change the world overnight, put a dad on every street corner because kids are looking for that safety, leadership, and place to know they're being protected. Being a dad is a powerful title because you have the power to enhance or destroy your kid's natural ability to unconditionally love the ones around them. But let's go back to you for a minute. What happens if you learn to fear being emotional, fear desiring to be loved, fear to express love? If you were honest with yourself, you might already see that with your kids and already have moments where you were like, damn, I am my parents. Let's switch to the opposite word, faith. What if you were able to live your life with the faith that you are loved? What if you were able to live your life with the faith that love is abundant? What if you were able to live your life with the faith that I am enough? What if you were able to live your life with the faith that I am good? One requires you to let go control of the future course of events, and only one attracts a higher place of living. Living with the fear that I need to protect that 10-year-old boy inside me that was just trying to survive, that just wanted to be loved, isn't a way to invite more love into your life. Living with the fear that if that boy dies, I die with him. What if we have faith that that little boy has been trying to teach you a lesson all of your life? What if that lesson was as simple as learning to love that little boy and loving him in a way no one in your life ever did? And it's that lesson that will invite more love into your life, into the present. I have faith that you are learning to love that boy unconditionally will allow you to become the man you were created to be. And loving yourself unconditionally and everyone else in your life. I have faith that you will break the cycle. I have faith that today good will come into your life. I have faith that you are good. That is all I have for you today. Like I said, pretty big day because I said something that triggered someone to reach out and say something back. Not in a good way, but still in a way that I know I am creating a line in the sand of who I am not. I'll be back again with you guys tomorrow.